sister, all my family and friends from New York, and Victoria, my little man Colton, and shout out to my washing machine and my ironing board.
Officer Trainee Badger from Crandall, Georgia. I'd like to thank my wife and family for the support.
I'm Officer Trainee Benner from Port St. Lucie, Florida. I'd like to thank God, my mom, my dad, my little sister Sydney, my friends that I made in the academy, and I'd especially like to thank Badger for the batteries and extra pair of socks when I need it.
I'm Officer Trainee Braun from Nashville, Tennessee. I'd like to thank my friends and family for getting me through the academy.
I'm Officer Trainee Cartwright from Scott Depot, West Virginia. I just want to thank my whole family, namely my husband, for all the dinners he cooked and all the rants he heard.
I'm Officer Trainee Claiborne from Goodlettsville, Tennessee. I'd like to thank my family, friends, and classmates for helping me through the academy.
My name is Officer Trainee Cleveland from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. I would like to thank my wife, Nikea, for her love and support throughout this 6-month journey, as well as my family for their continued support. Thank you.
I'm Officer Trainee Cruz from Louisville, Kentucky, and I'd like to thank my family, my brother, and Officer Fig.
I'm Officer Trainee Diaz. I'm from Humacao, Puerto Rico. I want to thank God, my family, my friends, my classmates I became close with, and all the training staff in the academy.
I'm Officer Trainee Fettner from Memphis, Tennessee. I'd like to thank my wife, my son, my parents, and all the family members. Thank you for helping me get through this.
My name is Officer Trainee Glass from Shawnee, Kansas. I'd like to thank my family, my friends, and all my classmates in Session 87.
I'm Officer Trainee Goldberg from Suffolk, New York. I want to thank my friends and family for supporting me through this academy.
Officer Trainee Helm, Cedar Hill, Tennessee. I'd like to thank my mom, dad, my sisters, especially my dad, helping me through this process. Just want to say thank you to him. It's going to be an honor to carry on your legacy in this department and follow in your footsteps.
I'm Officer Trainee Hicks from Louisville, Kentucky. I'd like to thank my beautiful wife, Adrienne, my mom, my dad, and my sister for all their love and support throughout this academy.
I'm Officer Trainee Higgins. I'm from Toms River, New Jersey. I'd like to thank my mom and my dad especially for helping me get through this. And I'd like to thank my instructors for all the support and guidance they gave me over these past 5 months.
I'm Officer Trainee Hurst. I'm from Kingston Springs, Tennessee. Just want to thank my fiance, family, and friends for the endless support they give me throughout this academy. I couldn't have done it without you. Also want to say hello to my soon-to-be daughter, Kinsley. Can't wait to meet you in November. I love you.
My name is Officer Trainee Latham. I'm from Wrightwood, California. I'd like to thank my friends, my family, God, and my girlfriend as well as her family for supporting me through this academy and in this career.
My name is Officer Trainee Masca. I'd like to first thank God for my health and strength to get through this academy. Special thanks to my 3 daughters and my dad and Denise and Alex and Tom and my family and friends. I couldn't have made it through without you. I also want to thank the training staff for giving me the necessary tools to get through the academy and to show me that it's never too old to swim the gym floor. I also want to show my daughters that you're never too late to follow your dreams and to never give up.
I'm Officer Trainee McKeon from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I'd like to thank my wife, Emily, and my family for their support through this time, including my mom, dad, and sister. I'd like to thank also my dogs because they're awesome, Tank and Gunner. And I'd like to thank my classmates and the instructors as well.
Hi, I'm Officer Trainee McDonald. I'm from Newport News, Virginia. I'd like to thank my wife, my baby, my family, and especially my mother and father-in-law. Thank you very much.
My name is Officer Trainee Maurice from Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts, and I'd like to thank my beautiful wife, Amy, for her constant support throughout this academy.
Officer Trainee Norris. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I want to thank my dad and my mom and Trainee Ops
Special thank you to Sergeant Merlin and Bob Allen. I definitely wouldn't have made it without you.
Officer Trainee Oliveros from Santa Ana, California. I'd like to thank my wife and family for supporting me through this academy.
I'm Officer Trainee Perlato. I'm from Tampa, Florida. I want to thank my girlfriend Tara. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to do this. Also my parents, my friends, and the training staff.
I'm Officer Trainee Parsons from Johnson City, New York. I'd like to thank my fiancée Kate for putting up with me through the academy. And I'd like to thank Officer Bridgman for his constant reminders the storm's coming. Make sure we're prepared to train in any weather.
I'm Officer Trainee Pellisier from Rogue River, Oregon. I'd like to thank my beautiful wife for helping me through this, despite being pregnant, despite being in a new house, despite everything. And I'd like to thank my family in Rogue River.
I'm Officer Trainee Pena. I want to thank my family both here in Tennessee and in New York City. I want to thank my cat Squirrel, and I want to thank my wife most of all, Patricia, who has helped me a lot throughout this process.
I'm Officer Trainee Perez. I'm from Miami, Florida. I would like to thank my family, God, and my wife for believing in me.
Hi, I'm Officer Trainee Pond. I'm from Rockland, California. I'd like to thank my friends and family and my cats.
I'm Officer Trainee Quigley from Weedsport, New York. I'd like to thank God, my fiancee Martha, my family, her family, and my new baby girl, Camila. If she's crying right now, I apologize, but get over it. It is what it is. She cries a lot. Thank you.
My name is Officer Trainee Sanders. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I would like to thank my girlfriend Josephine for waking up every day, making my lunches, and supporting me throughout the whole process.
Hi, I'm Officer Trainee Garrett Short. I'm from Prospect, Maine, moved to Nashville in 2010. I'd like to thank my fiancée Sarah for putting up with all this stuff for the last 6 months, and I'd like to thank everybody else for coming out on my birthday. Thank you. Have a good one.
I'm Officer Trainee Swabo from Union, New Jersey. I'd like to thank my wife, my family, my friends, Session 87 and the Training Academy.
I'm Officer Trainee Sutton from Nashville, Tennessee. I'd like to thank my mom, my family, and my friends, and most of all, God. Thank you.
I'm Officer Trainee Swindell. I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee.
Hi, I'm Officer Trainee Topping. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I'd like to thank my family, especially my grandma for keeping me laughing, my wife for doing everything, and my dogs for being extra awesome every time I come home.
I'm Officer Trainee Vanders from Johnson City, Tennessee. I'd like to thank God, my fiancée Hannah, and my family back home.
I'm Officer Trainee Vegas. I'm from Cutoff, Louisiana. I'd like to thank my family, especially my father and my girlfriend Casey for making me all those turkey sandwiches.
I'm Officer Trainee Wells from Chicago, Illinois. I'd like to thank my wife Mariah for just being Miss Everything for me, all the sacrifices she made, pretty much has been baby at the house, doing everything they do. I'd like to thank my kids for being understanding when I miss games. Isaiah, Jemiah, Corey, I love you. I'd like to thank my in-laws, Evan, Patricia, Parnell, and the Thomas and McFadden family as well.
I'm Officer Trainee Whited from Struthers, Ohio. I would like to thank my beautiful wife, Chelsea, and my supportive family back home.
I'm Officer Trainee Willis. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my sister, my cat Nash, and most importantly my boyfriend Dalton for being my constant cheerleaders throughout this whole process.
All eyes on me.
this is your first day at the academy. Everything else was an easy day. Tomorrow's not promised. You will earn everything you do here at the academy. You will be tested physically and mentally. Each one of you has what it takes to become a Metropolitan Police Officer. Some of you won't find it. That's all right. Some of you were born to be the police, and some of you were born to call the police. We will find out who that is. We are not in the habit of handing out badges. We pride ourselves on integrity and professionalism, and we demand it from you. The citizens demand it. You can't conform. There's the door. March! All the way to the gate.
We don't do it for the money. Sure don't do it for the fame. We don't think we're superheroes, so we work real hard when we train. We're prepared to put up a good fight, 'cause we're the good guys. 24/7 we'll come running. It's a life we wouldn't trade. We'll always be there when you need us, 'cause that's just how we're made. We'll all band together, fight and grind, 'cause we're the good guys. We're all brothers and sisters, and we're proud of what we do. We all got here the hard way to earn our badge and gonna lose. Serve and protect ain't just a motto, it's the truth. We'll take and go with our right hand in the sky, 'cause we're the good guys. We'll be right there if trouble strikes. So if your world comes crashing, we'll do our best to make it right. It ain't just a job, it's a way of life. You're the good guys. We're all brothers and sisters, and we're proud of what we do. We all got here the hard way to earn our badge and gonna lose. Serve and protect ain't just a motto, it's the truth. We'll take and go with our right hand in the sky, 'cause we're the good guys. We honor those who came before us. Some gave their lives, but not in vain. 'Cause there's one thing we all believe in: you do the crime, you're gonna pay. We're serving our community with pride, 'cause we're the good guys. We're all brothers and sisters, and we're proud of what we do. We all got here the hard way to earn our badge and gonna lose. To serve and protect ain't just a motto, it's the truth. We'll take and go with a right hand in the sky, 'cause we're the good guys. The good guys. We are 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 the good guys.
Good evening. I'm Officer Matthew Evans, one of the instructors that has had the pleasure of overseeing Session 87 grow and learn how to be police over the last 24 weeks. Please stand for the entrance of Session 87 and remain standing for the national anthem and the invocation by Chaplain James Duke.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
During the early morning hours of July 4th, 2019, Metropolitan Nashville Police Officer John Anderson was killed in the line of duty while responding to a fellow officer's call for assistance. The trainees of Session 87, along with all of our brothers and sisters of the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department, knowingly accept the daily risks in serving the citizens in the city we love so much. Please join me in a moment of silence in remembrance of Metro Police Officer John Anderson. Thank you. Chaplain James Duke will now offer the invocation.
May we bow in prayer. Gracious God, our Father, indeed, that we put our trust in you is where our hope and our faith lies. Father God, right now we come with gratefulness of heart, thanking you for this graduation ceremony, Session 87. We ask your continued blessing on them as they leave tonight and prepare to go out onto the streets to protect and to serve. God, we thank you for their families who have come and traveled from far and near to celebrate with them tonight. And Father, as we pray, we ask your blessing also upon Session 88 as they are coming behind them. We ask you to continue to be with them. We pray for the Academy staff for all that they have done to bring Session 87 to this moment. We lift up our city leaders, our mayor tonight. We ask your special blessing upon him, Chief Anderson and the executive staff, the Metropolitan Police Department, and all the men and women in blue. We just thank God for this opportunity, and we say thank you, and we give you thanks in all things. This is our prayer. We pray in the precious name of Jesus Christ, our Lord, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Duke. Everyone may be seated. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the graduation ceremony for Session 87 of the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department. My name is Captain Keith Stevens, and I have the pleasure of leading our training division, which I believe is one of the most rewarding jobs in our police department. To see a police officer trainee on day one, week one, and even month one, and yes, they are a hot mess. And to watch their transformation throughout this very difficult process to where they sit tonight, all very proud. Session 87, all eyes on me. Maybe the last time they actually listened to me. I know you thought this evening would never arrive. Well, after more than 5.5 months and nearly 1,000 training hours later, you can all take a deep breath and smile. It's okay, you can smile. You all made it. You have earned your badge. To Session 88, please stand for me. Give a little wave, everyone. You are in week 3. Keep up the good work, stay focused on the prize, and hopefully soon you will be sitting right here of Session 87. Oh, P.S. I wouldn't smile right now. To the family and friends of Session 87, I know the last 25 weeks have been extremely challenging, and your support is a big part of their success. Thank you for joining us for this special occasion. I want to express our sincere appreciation to the staff of Cross Point Church. This is a beautiful facility, and we are grateful for your support in making it available for our graduation celebration. Thank you, Mayor Briley and Chief Anderson, for joining us this evening and for your unwavering support for our police department. Thank you both. At this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce just a few members of our executive staff. Be to my left. Deputy Chief Damian Huggins, Administrative Services Bureau. Deputy Chief Brian Johnson, Community Services Bureau Chief. Deputy Chief Todd Henry, Investigative Services Bureau Chief, and he couldn't be with us this evening. Deputy Chief John Drake of the Support Services Bureau. Deputy Chief Mike Hager, Executive Services Chief. Mrs. Kathy Morante, Director of the Professional Standards Division. And Mr. Don Arian, the Public Affairs Manager. Thank you all and the remainder of the command staff for your service to this community. Now to the introduction of our first special guest. It is my pleasure to welcome Mayor David Briley to the Max graduation ceremony. Mayor Briley is a native Nashvilleian who was elected countywide twice as an at-large councilman and served from 1999 to 2007. He was again elected countywide as vice mayor in 2015. Mayor Briley is very much aware of the public safety mission of Nashville's police officers and their sacrifices. Please join me in welcoming our Honorable Mayor, David Briley. Officer Evans, please prepare Session 87 to take their oath of office.
Flag, attain, run!
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of Tennessee.
The Constitution of Tennessee.
And the Charter and Code of Laws of the Metropolitan Government.
And the Charter and Code of Laws of the Metropolitan Government.
And will perform with fidelity the duties imposed upon me.
And I will perform with fidelity the duties imposed upon me.
As a member of the Metropolitan Police Department to the best of my ability.
As a member of the Metropolitan Police Department to the best of my ability.
That I will serve the Metropolitan Government of Nashville, Davidson County, Tennessee, honestly and faithfully.
That I will serve the Metropolitan Government of Nashville, Davidson County, Tennessee, honestly and faithfully.
And I will obey the order of the officials placed over me according to law.
And I will obey the orders of the officials placed over me according to law.
By the authority vested in me as Mayor of Metropolitan Nashville, I hereby commission each of you as a police officer and member of the Metropolitan Police Department and charge you to carry out your duties and responsibilities as stated in the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics and under oath of office as a police officer. You may lower your hands. Congratulations.
Police Officer Caitlin Ardropoulos. Police Officer William Badger. Police Officer Austin Benner. Police Officer John Brom. Police Officer Sarah Cartwright. Police Officer Philip Claiborne. Police Officer William Cleveland. Police Officer Ricardo Cruz. Police Officer Mario Diaz. Police Officer Corey Fentner. Police Officer Nathan Glass. Police Officer Maximilian Goldberg. Police Officer Wayne Helm III. Police Officer Kelsey Hicks. Police Officer Robert Higgins. Police Officer Joseph Hurst. Police Officer Garrett Latham. Police Officer Mandy Masco. Police Officer Keenan McCann. Police Officer John McDonald. Police Officer Noah Maurice. Police Officer Michelle Norris. Police Officer Jose Oliveros. Police Officer Keith Parlato. Police Officer Thomas Parsons. Police Officer Alec Pellisier. Police Officer Luis Pena. Perez. Police Officer Alexis Pond. Police Officer Brian Quigley. Police Officer Jackson Sanders. Police Officer Garrett Short. Police Officer Michael Swagwa. Police Officer Christopher Sutton. Police Officer Matthew Swindell. Police Officer Amanda Topping. Police Officer Christian Vanders. Police Officer Parker Vegas. Police Officer James Wells. Police Officer Lawrence Whited II. Police Officer Rachel Willis. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the newest police officers of the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department, the police officers of Session 87.
Good evening. I'm Sergeant David Merlin, and I have the honor of being Training Operations Sergeant for Session 87. At this time, we'd like to recognize the officers that excelled in various aspects of training. Awards are given in the categories of academic excellence, spirit, physical fitness, leadership, law, firearms, and top cop. An officer will be recognized in each of the 7 categories. Here to present the award for the academic excellence is the American Legion of Post 5.
Mayor Brawley, Chief Anderson, Section 87, families and friends. I'm Carl Stace Eunice, Commander of the American Legion Post 5, and this, the year that the American Legion itself is celebrating 100 years of service to America. I must admit, as commander of this post, one of my favorite roles is being here, and I wish every national civilian could be here tonight. I know that's not possible, so I think there should be a TV station somewhere in the area that will step up to the plate and broadcast this event live. All those in favor? Post 5 has presented the Academic Excellence Award at each session graduation for more than a decade now, 4 decades I should say, and we are honored to be back to recognize the Session 87 member who has achieved this highest overall academic score. However, before I do, for those at present who are active duty military personnel and or military veterans, like yours truly, don't forget the Veterans Day Parade, November the 11th. I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of Post 5 to thank you for your service to our country, as well as extending our many thanks to Session 87 and all members of the Metro Police Department for your dedicated service to our great city. This group deserves an applause. This Academic Excellence Award is given in memory of the late Major General Hugh B. Mott, a World War II Battle of the Bulge veteran who received this nation's second highest military honor, the Distinguished Service Cross. A former Post 5 commander and adjutant, some of Hugh Mott's many other accolades include a former Nashville City Treasurer, a former Tennessee State Representative, 3 decades of service in the Tennessee National Guard, during which he served as the 67th Tennessee Adjutant General. And last but not least, Hugh Mott served as Nashville's police chief from 1973 to 1975 under another of Post 5's former commanders, the late great Mayor C. Beverly Briley, our current Mayor David Briley's grandfather. Those of us who have known General Mott have found him not only to be a complete gentleman, but also an honorable and dedicated servant to his fellow man. It is indeed an honor to present this award in his name. The winner of this award for Session 88 had an impressive composite score of 98.34. That's pretty close to 100. Will Officer Wayne Cleveland please come up and accept this award?
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Brown, and I'm one of the training officers at the Training Academy. It has been a pleasure working with Session 87 for the past 24 weeks, and at this time it is an honor to present the Spirit Award. This award is given in honor of Officer Christy Jo Dedman, who lost her life in the line of duty on July 19th of 2004. Officer Dedman was known for her positive attitude and uplifting spirit. The recipient of the Spirit Award exemplifies these qualities and is chosen by a majority vote of the trainees. At this time, I would like to present the Officer Christy Jo Dedman Spirit Award to Officer James Wells.
Good evening, I'm Officer Brian Allen, also one of the training instructors at the Academy. The next award I'm going to present is for physical fitness. This award goes to the officer with the highest average score across 3 physical fitness tests. Those tests are composed of the maximum push-ups, 1-minute sit-ups, 300-meter sprint, and the 1.5-mile run. The Session 87 Physical Fitness Award goes to Officer Brian Quigley.
I'm Officer Austin Bass, and I'm privileged to be presenting the Officer Petrina Leadership Award. This award is named in honor of Officer Michael Petrina, killed in line of duty on May 10th, 2014 while assisting a T-Dot truck in blocking traffic on I-65 for an overturned tractor trailer. The Officer Petrina Leadership Award is voted on by the members of Session 87 and is given to the officer who best exemplifies the qualities Officer Michael Petrina possessed as a police officer, leader, classmate, and friend. Officer Petrina was the type of police officer who did not skirt his duties. He handled his calls and his zone. He took personal pride in ensuring what was his would get the full measure of devotion expected of a public servant. As a leader, First Lieutenant Petrina directed plans and organized units, be it his soldiers or his peers, to accomplish a goal, from movement orders to incident commands. As a classmate, Michael called cadence for us during our hardest stretches uphill. He shared your weight when your burden was heavy. And as a friend, Mike would check on you or share whatever he had, because that's what good friends do. The officers of Session 87 have come together and agreed one such officer shares his spirit. And I'm honored to present the Officer Petrina Leadership Award to Officer John McDonald.
Good evening, Officer Matthew Evans, and tonight I have the honor of presenting the Officer Eric Mumma Continuing Education Scholarship. Officer Eric Mumma gave his life on February 2nd, 2017 while attempting to help a suicidal woman. Bethel University has partnered with the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department and honors Officer Eric Mumma's sacrifice by awarding a $5,000 scholarship. For Session 87, the Officer Eric Mumma Continuing Education Scholarship is awarded to Officer Robert Higgins.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Morante, and I'm the director of the Professional Standards Division. And my duties include overseeing the legal training at the Academy, and I also had the privilege of being one of the instructors for Session 87. Prior to joining the department, I worked for many years as a prosecutor in Davidson County District Attorney's Office, and before that as the deputy of the Criminal Justice Division at the State Attorney General's Office. And I can tell you that criminal law is a very complex area. In the past several months, your loved ones received a crash course in the law. The members of Session 87 received approximately 80 hours of instruction in criminal law, constitutional law, and criminal procedure. They took 5 block exams and 1 comprehensive exam. The legal concepts they were required to master included knowledge of the court system, definitions of many terms like probable cause, ask them to have them recite that for you at dinner tonight, and when deadly force can be used, as well as all of the various constitutional protections afforded to suspects. Police officers have to understand all of this and much more, and unlike judges, prosecutors, defense attorneys, and news reporters, officers must be able to apply their legal knowledge on the streets in stressful situations without hours to reflect and study legal briefs. All of the instruction in law is meant to give them that foundation, and Section 87 did an outstanding job with legal instruction. Members of Section 87, you're to be congratulated on your studies in this complex area. Now I will present the law award to the member of Section 87 who achieved the highest cumulative grade point average in law. The winner of this award gets not only a plaque, but a copy of the Tennessee Criminal Code. With a cumulative score of 97.6, it's my pleasure to present the law award to Officer William Cleveland.
Good evening. I'm Officer Joe Shelton with the Training Academy Firearms Unit. I will be presenting the Firearms Award for Session 87 this evening. During Session 87's tenure, they have received over 130 hours of firearms training. This program requires each officer to pass not only a written exam, but also 7 different qualifications and practical exams. The Firearms Award recognizes one member of each class that not only stands out among their classmates, but this person demonstrates exceptional aptitude for firearm safety, handling, and operations in all aspects of the training program. The recipient for tonight's award in Session 87 and the Top Gun Firearm Award with an overall score of 100% is Officer Jackson Sanders.
Top Cop Award is given to the officer that achieved the highest overall average in all graded aspects of the Academy of Training. This officer is also ranked first in the training class for the purposes of seniority. Before we award the Top Cop for Session 87, we'd like to recognize the officers that finished second and third in the class. Finishing third overall is Officer William Cleveland with an average of 96.5. Finishing second overall is Officer Michael Swagwa with an average of 96.6. And finishing first overall, the Top Cop recipient for Session 87 is Officer Samuel Jackson, but it's Jackson Sanders. At this time, I would like to introduce Officer John McDonald, the class leader of Session 87.
As you already know, I'm Officer McDonald, class leader of Session 87. I'd like to start by thanking Mayor Briley, Chief Anderson, and the executive staff for being here today. I'd especially like to thank all of the instructors at the Training Academy, each squad leader, and assistant class leader for putting in extra time, sweat, and dedication to getting Session 87 ready for this day and what is to come. As we all venture into the real world and this academy becomes a foundation to build upon, it is our family and friends that will remain a constant support. To each of the family members and friends who are here today and to those who are unable to make it, I would like to extend the utmost gratitude to you as well for sticking by our sides and supporting these men and women to achieve this accomplishment of becoming part of the law enforcement family. When we entered the gates that read, "Complacency breeds tragedy," in honor of those who have fallen, this is why we train. Many of us were unaware of what we were getting ourselves into. We were unaware we were attempting to enter the strongest brotherhood and sisterhood. But before we could enter this brother and sisterhood of blue, we had to learn to love and care for one another. At times, some of us tested our instructors and peers, which meant the storm was coming, and we would all pay with interest. We always had someone who gave the wrong reading of the day, fell asleep in class, even while standing, or forgot an inspectable item. On these days, we learned to swim across the gym floor, how to walk like a bear, and we'd always have a nice run to the gate. Some of us even got to experience the wheel of misfortune and live to tell about it. Through this process, some of us gained or strengthened the one ab we came in with. We all learned how to hold a pen in the air because after all, it is just a pen. But through all of this, 87 became one. We learned to lean on each other when times were hard. We learned to pick each other up when some of us could not see the light at the end of the tunnel. Along the way, we lost many who gave up or were not strong enough to meet the challenges required to be a part of this wonderful department. At times, we questioned why we chose to enter those gates each day. However, each of us had our own reasons, but we all had one common reason. We were all called to serve and protect our community. As we enter the next phase of our career, remember this statement from Theodore Roosevelt: "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms and great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. So that is his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. There will be times when someone will question who you are and your integrity, point out your failures and shortcomings. But remember who you are and why you chose to protect and serve this community. May God bless and protect you, 87, and may in Nashville, rest assured, you will always be there to protect and serve. Thank you.
I'm Lieutenant Schmitz with the Training Division over Operations and Academics. At this time, I'd like to introduce Officer James Wells, Jr. to offer the benediction.
Let's pray.
God, thank you for allowing us to reach this exciting moment in our lives. We pray for the peace and protection of our families and for the citizens of Nashville. We ask that you keep us safe as we carry out our duties and live up to the standards we just swore to uphold. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. 5, 3, come.
Before we dismiss, I hope everyone has enjoyed this wonderful celebration. And if you found yourself sitting there thinking, you know what? I think I have what it takes to be a Metropolitan Nashville police officer. I have great news. We are hiring. Get with me afterwards and I'll give you your info. Also, George, where are you, George? Where you at? George here? All right, right here to my left, our famous photographer. He has volunteered to stay afterwards to take pictures if you want to take it with your family. He'll do that for you. Also, I'm sure we could probably beg Chief Anderson to stick around if you want to have photos with him as well. Is that right, Chief? All right, great, thank you. If not, I'll probably be on midnight starting tomorrow. And lastly, I would be remiss if I didn't personally thank my staff for their tremendous dedication to training your loved ones. Please stand. I mentioned earlier that we have nearly 1,000 training hours. That doesn't count the weekends, the holidays, the extra time that they put in. It is a tremendous blessing to see all of you work, the love that you have, the passion that you have for what you do to make these officers what they are today. So thank you very much. Officer Evans, front and center. Please dismiss the police officers from session 87.